so freaking bad? Wrestle me.
Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 154, Stadium Stimulation. That's right, Stadium Stimulation. Why, you may ask? Well, Bodie and I were sitting here thinking, and we got to make it, real big, real fucking stimulating, because our guest, back for the millionth time, a guy you and me all know and love, that is the head honcho of the most badass independent wrestling promotion on the planet. Sorry, I know you other guys might feel a little butthurt, but I love these guys and everything they do. Ladies and gentlemen, boils and ghouls, please welcome Steve Tortorello of Warrior Wrestling.
Oh my
Steve, what the hell is up, brother?
Oh, Juice, it is good to see you, my friend. And that was a hell of an introduction. I feel like it's like Halloween Havoc.
It's Halloween 93. Town in our neighborhood.
Oh my gosh, guys, it is so good to be back here. This has been, so our last show was September 26th it will be 10 months, I believe, or 9 months between Warrior shows, the longest layoff we've ever had. And I am so happy to be promoting wrestling again. It brings joy to my soul.
Yes, it does. And I'm happy to be buying those Velcro belts, brother.
Yes,
those are sassy.
All the credit there goes to Mr. Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder.
Yes.
Who he was doing foam belts for his podcast. And he put up a picture on Instagram and Facebook or Twitter of himself with the foam belts. And we've been talking for years. God, if we could get like 90s style foam belts.
Yeah, the winged eagle.
Yes.
Ones.
Or the old foam Undertaker urn or the Hulk.
Yes.
So I reached out to Cardona, who's on this show, and his girlfriend, Chelsea Green, who's been on many Warrior shows. And I said, where did you get those belts? And they connected me to this sports whatever company. And that was the beginning of Warrior belts. So
yes.
Thank Matt Cardona.
I do thank him. And I thank him every time he gives me a win in Retromania Wrestling.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thanks, Cardona.
Dude, he's in Impact now, fucking killing it.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him.
What have you been watching, Steve, lately? I mean, it's been you guys have had the layoff. I'm sure, you're still plotting and scheming, your guys' next move and all of this. But in the meantime, you're a student of the game. You watch. What have you been enjoying lately?
Awesome question. So on the national scale, it's Dynamite every Wednesday night for me.
Yes.
I think they do such a good job of producing state-of-the-art, exciting, cutting-edge wrestling. And if you ever listen to those guys who work on the show, not just the Codys and the Young Bucks, but Chris Harrington and some of the backstage guys, they talk about a lot of the stuff they've done very purposefully. No video recap packages, no long delays from wrestling. They want every Dynamite to feel like you're there live and it's a can't miss party. And that's what I love about it.
You somehow managed to make the opening match like the match to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
So my dad, who's like a casual wrestling fan, will always text me when Dynamite starts. And now my dad has learned the pattern on his own. He's like, hey, they always start with the best thing. I can't miss it at 7:00 on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And then from there on, you're off to the races. So I'm always watching Dynamite because it's fun. I seek out specific other things. Like if I hear there's a great New Japan match or if there's a great indie wrestling card going on. I don't watch a lot of WWE programming. It's just not for me, the style, the pacing. Although I went to WrestleMania and I loved being there. Like WWE is great at pyrotechnics and fireworks and entrances and theatrics, and that's what they're good at, and they do it really well. If I want to watch great wrestling, I'll watch New Japan or Dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. And those worlds are scissoring each other and meshing together, dude. We got Jon Moxley versus Yuji Nagata. Yuji back on TNT. AEW keeps throwing all this nostalgia in my face. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I am excited. I think we are at the tip of the iceberg. I think they have a lot more in their back pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a theory about when all of that might come to fruition. But I think once we're through the pandemic, for the most part, New Japan and AEW are going to go to town. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. And there's other rumors. I don't know if you heard the WWE supposedly working with MLW rumor, and then the stuff MLW's being able to do, like somewhat, it seems like they're about to resurrect Lucha Underground under the brand Azteca Underground. Dario Cueto shows up as El Jefe, for IP purposes. He won't be Dario Cueto, which always sucks. But whatever, he's an actor anyway, but he's great at what he does. He likes violence and gold, all he wants. He's a simple man. But that's super exciting. We've all talked about many times before how much we loved the Lucha Underground, how like innovative that was,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really great play for them. I think it's a unique thing for MLW that sets them apart. They have always believed, like we have in Lucha Libre, like that you need some element of Lucha on your show. And they've had LA Park, they've had Phoenix and Pentagon, they've had Laredo Kid. And this, I think, will give them a new in for Lucha. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Well, and speaking of Lucha, that's a nice segue, because you guys, like I said, you've done so much here. I got so much to talk about with you. As far as building up to June 5th, all right, in the Stadium Series that's going to continue through August. Back on the football field, the field of dreams, if you will. I love it. I love the atmosphere. It's so cool, especially if it's a good warm night, because I'll be in heaven. You guys brought something else out. So you guys are once again doing the War of Attrition match is coming back. But there's a little twist. Oh, look, M. Night Shyamalan style robot chicken witty twist.
What a twist.
Witty twist.
What a twist.
You guys are doing it with some of the top independent Lucha Libre talent on the fucking entire planet.
Yes.
But as if that wasn't enough, no. Steve and Eric
we got to put some whipped cream and frosting on that.
Yeah, there's been a pandemic. Let's get ready to smack them upside the face with something super awesome and rope them in. And what'd you do? You cast your bait. We took it because we're getting a Warrior Wrestling Lucha Libre title.
Yes,
sir.
A title, which means that Warrior Wrestling, which has already been the home to some great Lucha Libre and some great fucking absolute legends of Lucha Libre. And Lucha means a lot to me because it's just everything it represents as far as a culture, not just a wrestling style, is amazing to me. It's a family thing, and that's why I love it. But you guys are bringing in an actual title, which is saying, hey, we're here for the long haul. We're going to be bringing in the best talent that we could bring in for Lucha Libre. And that's a big thing for the Chicagoland area and just everybody that's watching on Fite TV and all that. Tell us how that came about, man. And, where was the spark that all of a sudden, well, hey, we need another belt. Let's not, let's do something a little different, because this is kind of out of the box for me. I love it, though. Great decision, brother.
Thank you. So yeah, we've always been talking, and Eric, my right-hand man, for those who haven't met Eric's awesome. And he and I are always kicking around ideas and something unique, something different types of titles, different types of matches and structures and styles. And for the summer, we'd been talking about how one of the drags of running during the pandemic last year was that we didn't have any luchadors from Mexico, right? Travel was restricted, and every Warrior show before that had great luchadors from Mexico. Whoever was the hottest, best person running right then, we booked, right? Whether that was Cavernario, Soberano, La Parca, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee.
Still got to get Vikingo to Warrior.
Dude, I am working as hard as I can. He does not have doesn't have a visa. I am trying. But yeah, we always had luchas, right? And so then last year we didn't. And we were having this discussion about when we're back in summer of 21, what do we need to do to say to the world that we're back? And we said, we need lucha. We absolutely need lucha. Okay, so we'll have a couple lucha matches. And we said, no, we need to do something bigger. We want to say we're going to have lucha from now on forward, pandemic be damned, now that everything's, getting back to normal. So we said, what if we made a belt? And we had talked about tag belts in the past, but we really honestly made a list of all the lucha guys we want to work with, all the tag teams that are out there. And then we thought too that everybody's got tag belts, and not to say that we won't have tag belts at some point. Nobody else that I know of has a lucha belt, has a lucha championship. And so let's stake our claim and say, we're betting our money on Lucha Libre going forward. And how do we crown a champion around here? War of attrition. And Lucha lends itself to crazy ass multi-man action in a big match.
That match is going to be insane. With the
Yes.
as soon as you announced it, it was like cartoon, man. I lost my shit, like smoke. Yeah, because it's going to be all action all the time. To me, I feel like even if it's a fucking 2-hour match, not saying it's going to be, but you know what I mean? It'll go by so quick because of how insane the action is going to be.
Yeah. And so many of these guys have worked together on the indie scene throughout the last year. And so many of them are ready to blow up, right? We had Aramis last year at Warrior 8 and Arez we had talked to about the summer before the pandemic hit. And so Aramis and Arez are poised to blow up. Laredo Kid has been crushing it on Dynamite where he's doing Phoenix and Penta.
Yeah. Dude, he was killing it. He was doing shit with AAA and Impact too, right?
Yes. He's so good. And he had a big match. You mentioned Vikingo a few minutes ago. Vikingo and Laredo Kid had a match that was almost match of the year in summer of 19. So he's incredible. Then you've got other guys. Taurus is unbelievable. Gringo
Decay.
Dragonbane is you've not seen this guy yet. Gringo's description of Dragonbane is he's the next Phoenix. This guy kid is the next Phoenix.
Wow.
So, I mean, Golden Dragon, who's a local guy, who's awesome. I mean, we just packed it in. You know, we said, gosh, do we want to do a tournament? We said, no, we're doing a War of Attrition, and we're going to dare everyone on the rest of this show and the rest of the shows for the summer, follow that. And it's going to be hard.
That's going to be really hard. And I don't care. Always. You can bring in the biggest superstar. Dude, you're going to see a spectacle. Man. Everybody out there watching and listening right now and hearing what's going on. June 5th, it is going to be insane. Yeah. That's, dude, right there. For me, that's fucking your entry value there. That's worth the price of admission.
Of course.
You're not going to see this shit anywhere else.
No.
And you always expect them to
the one thing I'm
steal the show.
Go ahead, Bodie.
Sorry, you can always expect them to steal the show, especially multi-man lucha matches, like what you see on like GCW or Black Label Pro or wherever they're at, you know, anywhere. They're always multi-man matches, just have some of the most insane spots I've ever seen and just good lucha wrestling, solid.
Yeah, well, and that's when we lay out a show, we try to do a little bit of everything, right? You're going to get a little bit of technical wrestling, you're going to get a little bit of strongman wrestling, etc. And for the match that's supposed to be high spots and craziness, we want it to be as high spotty and as crazy as we can possibly make it.
It's a good thing you guys are going to have ambulance and stuff out on the field.
Yeah, right? A little luchador lawn dart into the turf.
Moonsault off the goal post.
You just came up with another fucking merch item, you know? A little mask on the end. Like,
done.
It's a great band name.
Speaking
luchador
of
lawn darts.
Merch items is so what started out as what seemed like a fucking April Fool's joke. Dude, you were tugging at me hardcore with this post. I'm seeing this. I'm like, man, dude, Warrior Wrestling, you know, ice cream bars. And I'm like, oh, dude. And Stratton was losing his shit too because he's like, I love ice cream. He's like, man, if they really get this going, he's like, I'll fucking eat ice cream the whole time. And then it turned into somewhat of a reality. And I'd like to know what's the progress of this venture. Will we actually be seeing at any point in the Stadium Series this year, Warrior Wrestling ice cream bars?
That is the hope. As you described it, it started out totally as a joke. Michael Cassidy, who runs some of our production stuff, is a great guy, does some of our graphics and stuff. Michael sent that to me the day before April Fool's, and he goes, you know, if you want to, you just put this out tomorrow as a joke. I was like, this is hilarious. Of course we're putting it out. So we put it out. And everyone got excited. They're like, don't tell me you're screwing with me. And so then everyone was pushing, you got to really do it. And so internally we talked and we're like, we can try. So we've made a few phone calls. I had a few conversations. We actually have some connections in the ice cream biz. The issue right now is to get inside baseball and ice cream. The places that we know do all hand dipped bars, and you can't screen print like the logo on a hand dipped bar because it's not flat. So we can do bars where the logo's on the packaging. So we're looking to see if there's anywhere where we can do bars where the logo is on the actual chocolate. So we might have to settle for kind of a compromise where it's Warrior ice cream bars, but just on the packaging. So we're working on it, and we'll see.
Yeah, brother. I think, and you know what? And with everybody just hearing that, you wouldn't be losing me as a consumer if it was just like, hey, the stick had some cool shit on there.
Yeah.
And the packaging, like you said, was dope. Like what if it was like a yellow wrapper with, black warrior just designs all, little warrior designs kind of flooding it or some, the possibilities are endless, but I think that would be cool. And hey, man, sometimes you got to sacrifice to survive. We need those ice cream bars at the field.
And that's what we're thinking. We're like, you know what, even if it's not ideal, even if the logo isn't on the bar, maybe we can get the Warrior logo on the packaging or some cool like logos of our champions on the packaging or the stick. So there's discussions happening. I don't know if they'll be ready for the first show, but we're going to do something.
Hell yeah. What do you guys got anything else merch wise that you're kind of cooking up that we can get a little sneak?
So we've got, yeah, absolutely. So we've got the belts, we've got the ice cream bars. We have some new t-shirts coming. So we've got the classic Warrior shirt. We've got a white Warrior shirt that is the Chicago flag, but with 4 Warrior Wrestling logos. So we're excited about that. We've got a design that we put up on PWTs last year that we're going to make a bunch of and sell on the shows. It says, "We are Warrior Wrestling." And within the letters is the names of every wrestler who's ever appeared on Warrior Wrestling.
Wow.
And the logo is like sideways kind of splashed in the back. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do remember that one. That's a super dope shirt.
Yeah. So we got some cool stuff. Hats are coming back. Masks are coming back. Some new Warrior pins for backpacks and bulletin boards. So we've got some cool stuff coming.
Hell yeah. And speaking of other things that are coming, dude, you guys, let's run down some of the card real quick and discuss some of that and how that came about, man. You got some hot matches. We mentioned, obviously, the Lucha title and the War of Attrition match. I'll throw one at you real quick and we can talk about that. You brought up Matt Cardona going against our homeboy. We got much love for him.
Yep.
Sam Adonis.
Yes.
Sam, you're out there. I know you're watching, brother. We love you, dude. I'm sorry, man. I like toys too, but man, come on.
Yeah, we're excited. This is a matchup of two guys. Sam, as you know, you guys love Sam. Sam can wrestle every style, right? He can wrestle Mexican Lucha Libre. He just went back to AAA in Mexico.
Yeah, he's the Pale Pro heavyweight champion.
Yes, down in Texas for Pale Pro with Kyle Hessler.
With Texas Tortorello.
Texas Tortorello, that's him.
Texas Tortorello, Steve. I don't know if I ever told you that, but yeah.
Exactly. I love that term, and I think Kyle would appreciate it. So Sam can do everything, right? Sam, every style. Cardona is such an interesting character, right? Like people care about Matt Cardona because we've watched him for a decade. He was the guy that revolutionized Twitter for wrestlers, that revolutionized Facebook and then
social
Instagram
media.
For wrestlers. He got himself over. And so everyone feels like you've always been rooting for him. And in WWE, he never really had a chance to get out there and wrestle because that was never the position that he was in. So I know from talking with him, number one, that he really wants to be in front of live fans. As much as awesome as Impact is, he hasn't been in front of live fans. He wants to be in front of a packed stadium, and he wants to show people that he can go. So you've got two highly motivated, big built, heavyweight, classic American style wrestlers. And their job is, and their goal is to go out there and steal the show. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Man, I'm a little disappointed. I'm going to miss that, man, live. I'll catch it on the, on the broadcast or the replay when I can see it, but I'm moving to Florida. But besides that night, I was going to go. I already had it planned, but my oldest son graduates high school that night too.
Oh, cool. Congratulations to him. Where's he go to school?
Park High School, Racine Park High School.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't miss that at all.
Kind of importance.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, can you graduate down at Marion Catholic?
Sorry, son. Wrestling calls.
Yeah.
Where's your dad? Well, you don't understand. It was Cardona versus Adonis.
Exactly. I mean, that's all you got to say if they don't understand.
That's some true heel shit right there. He gets
all right. June 5th, the day Jonas's dad turned heel. All
right. You'll be graduating something else again, won't you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me a snap.
Oh, damn. Dark side right there.
That's amazing, and I love it.
You guys, you booked Pillman, right? But he's there was a couple guys there with AEW that are appearing now at the later shows.
Yeah. So what happened was we had booked Pillman and Brian Cage, and then because of the NBA playoff schedule, they messed with AEW's taping schedule. So they are actually taping like Saturday and Sunday of that weekend, which wasn't the case when we laid out our show. So AEW Total Pros, they contacted us, let us know. We worked it out. So Pillman and Cage are going to return in July, but right now they're off the show.
Still super cool though. I mean, that you get, that's what,
oh yeah,
man, the independence nowadays compared to like when I was a little kid, dude, to see people in their prime, dude, or just getting to that plateau, you know, like,
well, it's like Brian Pillman Jr.
That's why you guys are so great, because you give that to people. You know, I try to stress this about your promotion all the time, because you can go to Warrior Wrestling and see all these people will be on TV, you know, and whether it's it'll be one of the 5 or 6 different promotions that wrestling's everywhere now, you know?
Yeah. And I think what's so nice about the arrangement that we have with AEW, with Impact, et cetera, is that they, as I was saying earlier for Cardona, they get to perform in front of people in different places. So like even AEW, they're in front of fans now, but they're in Jacksonville every week, week in and week out, at least for a couple more months. And now they get to get their name out there, meet fans. You know, these are guys and girls who are used to being on the road 150 days a year, and they haven't been. And as much as there's benefits of that, right? Your body heals up a little bit. You get to spend more time with family. There's also some drawbacks, which is you're not out there meeting fans, promoting yourself, you know, hanging out.
Interest and revenue. If you want to look at it point blank from a business or a person in that situation, that's the 2 top things. You know, you lose interest, no one's going to give a shit about you. You're losing revenue. You're not going to feel the urge to want to do this anymore, because, you know, certain people might get down the dumps about that. Like it's hard. You've had people that have maintained. Look at Warhorse, dude. Perfect example. You know, he's wrestled. He'll be back for Warrior too. And actually, if you want to get into that match next, but dude, he's a guy that persevered. You know, he's always had these little bits like on social media and stuff where it was, what was it like? Today you're getting hit with a chair, like throwing shit. I was like, dude, so awesome. So simple, so awesome, but it came out of his mind. He's finding good creative ways, and within his character, who's a crazy heavy metal guy, you know, to like get over and sell T-shirts while he's not being booked, you know?
Yeah, I think he and Danhausen are the 2 that, you know, they really cracked it in 2019, and then the pandemic hit, and so it would have been amazing to see where each of them went had there not been the pandemic, but I think they're still going there. He and Danhausen both have figured out who they are, what their character is, and how they can generate interesting stuff even when there aren't shows. I mean, Warhorse's Twitter feed is one of the most entertaining things I follow. And he's always got something new and interesting. And it's just, you know, that, you know, there's so many wrestlers that sat on their ass for a year. Some wrestlers got in incredible shape. Warhorse never stopped making Warhorse stuff and being Warhorse. And that's why people love him. And that's why when he comes running out of that curtain on Saturday, June 5th, he will get one of the biggest pops of the night because people freaking love him.
Yes. And I'll be yelling my ass off over everybody.
You better.
You know?
Yeah.
Love Warhorse.
Well, in that match, you know, you mentioned the match a second ago. It's him and Jake something, who have both just kicked major ass at our show.
And that's a very metal. I have my list of guys. Like if at some point there will be a Juice Pro Wrestling show, like maybe we're thinking about doing like once a year and having like metal bands and wrestling. And that's something we'll talk about on the side here. So
hell yeah.
On the side. But they're metal dudes. Jake Something's a huge metal guy. There's a lot of parallels. Like if you know who these people are, like to me, that makes this match super interesting, you know?
Yes. Well, not only are they metal dudes, they're both cut from a lot of the same cloth. They're Midwestern dudes, they're long haired dudes, they're metal dudes, they're smash mouth wrestling guys. These are the kind of they forearm you in the face. You know, there's not a lot of La Magistral cradles going on with Warhorse or Jake Something.
No.
They punch you in the face, they knock you over the ropes, and they both just have this presence about them. Each of them is like a freight train. And when we really scrutinize the matches that we put together. We don't just, we like that guy, we'll find another guy, we'll throw it together. We really go back and forth days and weeks on what styles of matches, what types of matches. And sometimes you put two Legos together and they just fit, right? Like when you're building Legos as a kid, you're like, and then you put, those two go together. That's
Master
how
of analogies. Welcome back, brother.
I've missed it, my friend. Yep. This is two Legos going together perfectly. And you just go, yes, Warhorse and Jake something. It fits.
Hell yeah. Dude, Jake's got, man, they, like you said, they both got a great look. Jake's got a great look, man. He's just,
he does.
A big dude. His shape of his body, like how big he is, dude. Like he's a big ass, like no nonsense. He's all hairy, which I like. That's the all old school stuff, you know, like the NWA, AWA guys. Just like, man, he's the guy that reminds me, like he fucking come in like bumping some Pantera or Danzig or something, just get out and like kick your ass for talking shit about his woman or trying to hit on his woman or something like. And then Warhorse, just this insane metal dude that you never know what's going on. And now he's getting into this. Dude, I think he's designing his gear. He's a big Spawn fan. For those of you comic book fans,
he is.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude. So some of his like pants gear, that his latest gear that he's had has been designed from Spawn. And I think maybe he listens to this and starts to do this. There you go. But maybe he draws from that a little bit into his character too. Like you never know. That's the interesting thing about Warhorse is you never know. You can't decide these guys' next move, and that's invaluable entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
So what else we got going, Steve? Whip another match at my face real quick.
All right. Well, let's go. The return of Kylie Ray.
Yes. I was just thinking
you guys dropped a bomb. I mean, it couldn't have been any more obvious. No offense on that. And I'm glad it was, because it's like, wow, has the wrestling world been clamoring and waiting for this moment, you know, for a while, and we could speculate on what does this mean for the future or whatever. None of that matters, because we will have it now, and we will have it at Warrior Wrestling. You guys, how did that come together, Steve? Obviously, the women's champion for Warrior Wrestling, but you know, we all know that she took a step back, wanted to, you know, from Impact, didn't want to be involved in the business, somewhat retired. How did everything come together for that match?
Honestly, it was just, we reached out to her in the winter, a few months after everything with Impact, and just said, hey, we're starting to think about ideas for the summer. Let us know what you would like to do, right? If you're done, totally fine. We'll happily crown a new champion or do something different. If you'd like to come back for a match and you know, do the honors and make a new champion, we can do that. You know, whatever you want to do. And she's just a really sweet human. She's really, really grateful. And we just kind of talked back and forth. We never pushed it. We just said, hey, the door is always open if you ever wanted to do that. And then she reached out and said, I want to come back to Warrior Wrestling. And we said, okay, obviously we're happy to have you, you know, no pressure from our end, but we're happy to have you. And she's like, no, I want to do it. And, you know, without sharing some specifics, you know, she's in a better place, you know, mental health wise and physically and everything. And she's like, I love doing this, you know, and I want to come back to it. And so we talked through things with her, and she's on for all 3 shows this summer. I don't know anything beyond that. I don't know if she'll come back to freelance. I don't know if she'll be on the market to major companies. I don't know what her status is with Impact, but I know that she said, you know, she trusts us to take good care of her, and we're going to do that. And we're thrilled to have her. We really are.
Such a big coup for you guys, man. Such a inspirational wrestler. And, you know, I'm not even going to throw gender into it because it doesn't really matter, because dude, her work was great, and intergender work she did was great. But just her whole persona and everything, she's, you know, we've all been big Kylie Ray fans since we became aware of her existence. And it was such a shame, but hey, you go away. That's anybody out there watching, listening right now. You have struggles in your life, anything's kind of, whether it's your work, family, home, whatever, you take a step back, you kind of find yourself, how can you make things work? And then you come back when you're ready to do what you're passionate about. And I'm glad that she's found that. And dude, super awesome for you guys, you know, because she's not doing it for anybody else, at least not at the moment. And dude, that's fucking awesome. That's, to me, says a lot about your company and your promotion, dude. Says a hell of a lot.
Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, you know, it all comes back to And this was always Eric's, line from the beginning. Treat everybody like $1 million, right? We treat the wrestlers
Treat
and the
me
production, right? We treat people like, so our day jobs is working in schools, right? I work at Marion, the school where you do the shows. Eric's an administrator in another school. We treat this like if we were hosting a meeting or we were hosting parents and kids and teachers from other buildings. And, you feed people, you welcome them, you greet them, you make sure they have everything that you need. And so much of wrestling, that has not been the experience. So many of these stars and so many of these performers. And so you treat people well, you treat them like human beings, you give them input into what they're doing, you talk with them. That's the other thing we do too. And that's something we've talked about on the show in the past. We have conversations with people. So all of the matches we put together with Kylie for the summer, that's a conversation with us and Kylie. Who do you want to wrestle? Who do you feel comfortable with? Who would you be excited to work with? And we take, a list and we kind of work it down together to people that we think would be great, people that she thinks would be great, and we put it together. And I think giving the talent that input is also a big factor as well. I will drop a little teaser here. So we know Kylie is defending the belt against Holidead on June 5. Win or lose, so whether Holidead is champion or Kylie is champion, Kylie will face Thunder Rosa in August. So either if Holidead's defending the belt, if Kylie still got the belt, she'll defend it against Rosa. In July, and I won't say any more than this, Kylie will be participating in an intergender dream match.
What?
I will just leave it there.
I think I know.
I don't think you do. It's a match that I don't think anybody knew they wanted until we put up that graphic after June 5. Then everyone will know it's what they need.
I love it.
You're probably right, Steve. You just outsmarted the smart Mark. Speaking of smart Marks, have you caught any of the Dark Side of the Ring?
Oh my gosh, I watched the whole Pillman thing. It was powerful.
I reached out to Bryan Jr. afterwards, and I was just like, hey, man, like it's, and some of the story and like growing up, I mean, even way back in the day, we're talking 15, 20 years ago, I had heard how like that situation was, and you never know what's really real.
Yeah.
But he kind of shed some light on that. And I was just like, dude, like, I'm glad that you could get that off your chest. I've been through some shit when I was a kid, like had it rough kind of growing up. Like I really identified with that, but even more than that, since, dude, I've had many opportunities at Warrior to have conversations and hang out with him there. Such a good dude, and what he's doing for himself, first off. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to, it's great that he's paying homage to his father, but dude, first of all, for himself, because man, he deserves it, after growing up and losing everything and that whole horrible situation, to put a positive spin on it. And even to see in Dark Side where he's like, what kind of person does it make me to still have this grudge against my mother, and it's kind of made him better, dude. It's just, you could see this guy growing as a person. So I just told him, I was like, man, I'm watching you do the stuff you're doing and be as strong as you are. And it's helped make you a better person. And in turn, pay tribute to your father. Your father's probably shedding tears in fucking heaven right now, because you're doing it right, dude. You're doing it fucking right. And he sent me something back. It's like, thank you so much. Together, we are stronger and we can overcome. And it sounds corny or cliche, but it is the absolute truth, man.
Yeah. And he put something out last week about, finding a family in wrestling, in MLW and AEW and indies. And that is, again, sounds corny, but there's a lot of people who've been through some shit. And when you go to somewhere where people care about the same thing that you care about and you treat each other well, you can find a lot of times stuff that's been missing in other places. And
all the human beings, man.
Yes, everybody's a human being. And so it's an honor to have him as part of our family. And we just love the guy to death. We absolutely love him.
Yeah, super cool, man. When you guys going to bring in Nick Gage and dirty it up a bit?
Yeah. Nah, you're talking.
Have you ever, be honest with me, have you ever thought about that? Or is that just, it's obviously probably too much?
Yeah, so deathmatch stuff is too much, but we've talked about bringing in guys like that in either more of just a regular hardcore match style or just like a shoot fight style. So we've talked about those guys. We can never do the light tubes and all that stuff. But Nick Gage himself, a Nick Gage fight versus somebody, I think there's still a lot of interest there. I think the same thing.
I saw him against Jordan Grace at Black Label. in South Bend.
Yeah.
And it wasn't death match. And that's what I'm saying. He can still pull it out, come out and still be that toughest son of a bitch MDK all day. Yeah. But you don't need, and that to me, it's even more badass because you don't need the weapons and all this shit. Like if you're just to put him in there with a John Moxley again.
Oh, yeah, please.
Dude,
that's happening.
Moxley is on the dream list. It is the Moxley.
From what I hear, he's been on the list for a while, Steve. You guys gonna fucking roast some wings. Get that motherfucker here.
I'm trying, Juice. You know, I got a phone call the night of shortly before WrestleMania in 2019. Before when everyone knew he was leaving WWE, but nobody knew he was going to keep wrestling because the word was, he was just done with wrestling. That's what everybody thought until he showed up in AEW to New Japan.
Yeah.
But I got a phone call that WrestleMania weekend from somebody who I shall not disclose, who was with Mox and was like, "Hey, he's open for business once he's out of here." And I was just like, "Oh." And we've been working to try to put exactly. We've been trying to put that together for 2 years. It will happen one day.
Oh yeah, and it will happen.
It'll be glorious when it does.
I'm flying up from Florida when that happens. For sure, dude. I'm not. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be there, honey. We're buying plane tickets, or I'm buying a plane ticket. I can't miss this.
But our son's graduating again. Sorry, I saw the last one.
Yeah, sorry,
son. John Moxley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Heel turn number 2, less than the Big Show.
Pizza cutter match. No, for real though. But dude, Steve, what's some of I'm curious to know like your list of guys because you've been doing Warrior now for several years. You guys have been knocking out of the park and you've brought in huge talent. There's a list. I know you got to have a list, maybe like 3 or 4 guys at least.
Yeah.
That we were just talking about Moxley. Who else is on the list for Steve Tortorello that's like, man, at some point, and it's a realistic goal? Because it's not like saying like, well, yeah, I want Roman Reigns or something, which obviously isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Who's on your list, man?
Well, 2 of the big ones, and we have not had any traction there, so nobody get your hopes up yet. I think it's too soon. Samoa Joe, whom I would watch in Ring of Honor in the early 2000s, and it was just like the example of a badass monster.
Yes.
I mean, just WWE did not do him justice in any regard in his run. He got a couple of good matches. NXT, they set him up for success. He got a couple of good main roster matches, but they just never.
He looked good over Brock, even though he lost that match. Brock put him over big time.
Yes. But from what he could be, if you're a general wrestling fan, you watch all different types of things, and you saw Ring of Honor in the early 2000s, and you saw Impact from 2005 to 2010, and you know what Samoa Joe can be if you build him right. WWE, obviously, the powers that be in WWE don't watch anything other than WWE. The talent doesn't exist until they get there, and I think that's kind of sad because Joe just has something, and so. As far as we've heard from people who are close to Joe, he's not even thinking about anything right now. He took his kids to Disney World for 2 weeks. He's just not taking bookings or anything. But he's on that list. I think we've got a lot of guys on our regular rotation that he could clash with big time. Brian Cage, Jeff Cobb, Lance Archer. I mean,
I want to see. Hey, we're talking Lucha Libre. Taurus.
Yes, Taurus and Samoa Joe. I mean, it's just like 2 wild bulls on a savannah.
I want to see Sam Adonis and Samoa Joe.
What about this? The great thing about wrestling is speculation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Juice, I'm losing.
Oh, he froze. Frozen. He froze. I think he was going to go Moxley. I think he was going to drop Moxley bomb.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, he might have froze again.
Oh, man. Every time I speak, I stun him into silence.
He's just in awe. He's in awe of your presence.
I will keep rolling.
Yes, please
Samoa
do.
Joe is absolutely on there, as I said, and whatever Juice was going to suggest, yes, is the answer. Yes, we would do whatever crazy idea Juice was going to pitch. And the other one too, who again, as of last week, is all of a sudden the belle of the ball is Bryan Danielson.
Oh my God, yeah.
Likewise, I went to Ring of Honor in Chicago Ridge and watched him beat the snot out of a whole lot of dudes in 2003, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So and the thing for Daniel Bryan is that he said in many interviews, he wants to wrestle all different people from all around the world in all different styles. And that's something he couldn't do in WWE. That's why he let his deal run out over there. And so I've got a hunch that I think he will do a lot of going around the world and wrestling different matches. Well, we have, as we've talked about, the ability to bring in guys from Mexico, bring in guys from Japan, bring in the biggest indie guys. We would be the perfect venue for a guy like Daniel Bryan. Who do you want to wrestle? We'll find them.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously, those are a couple of pie in the skies. Juice mentioned another one earlier, which are with our affinity for Lucha Libre, El Hijo de Vikingo. Vikingo.
Oh, yeah, Vikingo.
Unfrickin' believable. And so he is a guy that I really want American audiences to see, because I think once you see him once, you are hooked for life. And so
for sure.
Those would be my three: Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, and Vikingo.
Yeah, that's an impressive list.
Yeah. So that's, those are the dream matches. Those are the guys that, they're not totally impossible. They're definitely pie in the sky, but those are the guys that we'd like to see.
Right.
Well, we're waiting on Juice. Maybe we just keep jumping through the card here.
Yeah, please do.
So our title match, Trey Miguel is our champion, having defeated Brian Cage and Brian Pillman in September. Trey, talk about some of the best wrestlers in the world. Trey is so underrated. The people that know how good he is, but the wider audience doesn't. And as we've said with Trey, and this is pulling back the curtain a little bit, but also promoting at the same time. Eric and I have told Trey our goal for this run with this belt is we want to show the world he is the best wrestler in the world. And so we want to bring in the absolute best we possibly can and see if somebody can take it from him. And right now, Lee Moriarty is the hottest technical wrestler, indie wrestler around. These two have never faced each other. And so we think this match is going to be incredible. For as crazy as the Lucha match is going to be, when it comes to technical wrestling and quickness and speed and reversals, this match is going to be poetry.
The counters in that match are just going to be insane. And you see what Trey Miguel's doing right now. And I just think like how good he is now. I feel like in a couple more years, he's just going to be like on top of the wrestling world if he's not already. But the things that guy does in the ring, I'm just like, how did you come up with that? How did you do that? Like just the stunners that he does, like outside the ring, the slides, like
transitions, like you might
his transitions,
and he'll do like a headstand backflip off the ropes and kick in it, and just the quickness. It's not even the flying so much; it's the quickness of Trey Miguel is unbelievable. So that match is going to be incredible. We've also got Impact Wrestling Women's Champion Deonna Purrazzo, and she's facing Warrior staple Ray Lynn. And for those fans out there who might not be familiar, Ray is an incredible wrestler. She's faced Kylie on our shows. She's faced Ty Conti. She's been in the Women's War of Attrition. She has a martial arts, judo, taekwondo background. And so her and Deonna have never faced one another either. And we think that's going to be a great women's striking battle. As much as Kylie Holiday is going to be a great wrestling match and a great spectacle, Purrazzo versus Lynn is going to be kicks and reversals and just speed and impact. So the striking is going to be pretty cool there.
Yeah, definitely. And you got to appreciate the different styles that they're going to bring to the table. I think that's one of the matches, like you were talking about earlier, meshing, like who's going to mesh well together matches. You want to see that. It perfectly sums it up. When I saw that, I was like, man, that match is going to be so great because those two, their styles complement each other so well. And that's something that I want to see. I don't know if they've wrestled before. I haven't seen them tangled before. So there you go. And you know what? You guys are known for a lot of that too. A lot of first ever, which is amazing to me with the landscape of wrestling.
And with the Lego analogy we were talking about earlier, part of that is in discussion with the wrestlers. So like when we're talking to Deonna Purrazzo and Deanna's going to be on the show, we're trying to find the perfect opponent. And we have an idea of what her style is and who we think she would mesh with really well. But when we pitch someone like Ray Lynn, and Deanna's eyes lit up and she's like, yes, we would work perfectly together. It's always exciting to be able to be on the same wavelength with the wrestler, where they're looking for a certain style of match. They're looking for a certain opponent that highlights what they do really well. And you see the same thing that they're seeing. Everybody's happy.
Yep, exactly. You can't go wrong with that either. And I think that's just so cool that when you bring someone up like that, or bring up somebody, an opponent like that, and their eyes light up like, yes, this is what I would like. Like, it's a home run right there. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and that we have a lot of those discussions with Brian Cage, with Sam Adonis, a lot of our regulars, and it's cool to not only is it something we want to see, but if we give the wrestlers something they want to sink their teeth into, then they're more excited to go out there and crush it.
Definitely, yeah, and you can see that too. You can definitely see that in every Warrior Wrestling show that I've seen attended. These people just go all out, and it's like, in your gymnasium that you had there, to me, it's a huge arena type style event. Yeah. And that's how it feels every time I go out there to watch it.
Yeah, it's a fun atmosphere. And the field is different. It's not, we found from the first field show we did in August last year that the sound, as everybody knows this from watching wrestling, when wrestling is in the stadium, the sound doesn't carry as well. The wrestlers don't get the feedback. So for the second one, we passed out a ton of cowbells, noisemakers, horns, and the cowbells are the way to generate heat. And so now you get a way to, like, somebody's building their comeback. People are ringing the cowbells more and more and more. And it builds that same energy. So,
for sure.
I definitely prefer indoors for the sound, but it's unique doing it outdoors.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a great idea too. Anything to generate any type of reaction, not only from the fans, but from the wrestlers. And then you have that engagement. Now you have them on a personal level, a wrestler fan engagement, and you're cheering them on with the cowbells or, doing the horns when they're trying to speak to you or do a promo or something like that. And they're a heel. I think that's a great idea. That's just definitely something that had to be done outside. That I haven't been to the outside match, but I watched them on and I thought it was great events too.
Yeah, when in the first show, like, again, everybody loved it, but the wrestler, again, that sound kind of dies, and so we added that in, and then it just added a whole new element. Speaking of adding things in for a whole new element,
good segue.
Juice has returned.
Yes, welcome to the show, Justin.
Hey, piss break, right?
Everybody's
No,
on the way
I was suffering from severe technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on.
Hard, man.
Speaking of Budweiser's, I don't know. Maybe you guys know what's up with this. These are Chicago Cubs Rally Edition. I'm a Sox fan, so I really don't know. But I don't know what the logo's backwards on all of them. On these,
rally cap.
I don't know. Yeah, Rally Cap. There you go. Perfect. Rally Edition. Yeah, that's inside out and backwards.
Yeah,
that's what that means.
Yeah, so like when your team's down, you put the rally cap on, you flip your hat inside out and wear it backwards.
Yep.
So the logos are upside down and backwards.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Dude, thanks.
I never knew that.
The man with the answers. I love it.
Dude, I'm not good at most things, but I'm good at useless things.
I don't know about, I think booking wrestling shows is up there with most important things. So
true. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So, Juice, we were just talking. We just covered Ray Lynn and Deonna Purrazzo. We covered Lee Moriarty and Trey Miguel. And the last two on the list are, first of all, the battle of the monsters, really. Godzilla versus King Kong in Congo Kong versus Beastman.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm super stoked about that. Congo's a dude. He's a guy that had a good start around in, South Bend area, Indiana and stuff. And, his work with Impact and various other promotions. And he's been with you guys once, hasn't he?
He was at Warrior 4 as part of a multi-tag team match of crazy people. And he was great. Great guy, great to work with. And he's, we talked about this with Warhorse earlier. Talk about a guy who gets his gimmick. He gets it fully.
Yes.
He owns it, and he makes it work for him.
Oh, totally. And then Beastman, same way, thing. Dude. Beastman's a previous guest of the show. Everybody go check that episode out. He's a great dude. Got some great stories. I'm looking forward to seeing him. And it's cool. Like I said, while you guys weren't running shows, you get to see some of these, like, shout out to, Pale Pro, man. I was watching some of their stuff, and they're like the Texas version of Warrior Wrestling.
True. Truest.
Where the Texas Tortorello comes from. Kyle, shout out to that brother. He's putting on a good product, man. And so it's been cool to see guys like Sam Adonis and Beastman go down there, and some other people that we get to see at Warrior all the time. What else do we have on the card, though, Steve?
Well, the last one, let's see. So we've been through 7 of them. Match number 8 is 2 guys who I think are the future of independent pro wrestling, and maybe might not be independent for that long. And that's Cole Radrick down from the Indianapolis area, and Casey Navarro, who was out of New Jersey. He's been on AEW a handful of times on Dark and Elevation. He had a match with Phoenix that was unbelievable. He's had a couple of other great matches. He is a guy who has a presence and a charisma that you just can't teach. He is if he wasn't a wrestler, he could be a gas station attendant, and he'd be the most charismatic gas station attendant you've ever met.
Yes. Fill me up.
Yeah, he's just special, and it's rare. It's rare that we have so many wrestlers. So we have a great rapport with a lot of the big name wrestlers, which is awesome, right? And we talk to them about their matches and other people for the shows, who they've worked with, et cetera. It's rare that you have multiple big names reach out and say, hey, Steve, I like for your show, you got to look at so-and-so. And we had multiple name wrestlers say, Casey Navarro is the future. Like awesome. Big name guys say, you got to look into this kid. And we're like, great, we're already looking at him, but now we're going to absolutely book him based on those recommendations.
That stamp of approval. That's awesome. That's one great thing about you guys. I mean, and you do everything right. So you have, these huge stars on your show, and they can go back and tell everybody like, man, this is legit. You guys got to hop on it. And, guys that are up and coming that are going to be superstars, like refer them to you and have them come through your place and just get treated well. It's fucking awesome. It's a great cycle.
Yeah, dude. We're really lucky. We have, like you said, it's a cycle, and we have that generation that's been through Warrior that's doing other things, and they're helping us find that next generation that's coming up. So
hell yeah. Super cool. And speaking of coming up, so real quick, Steve, why don't you let everybody know the dates for all three of these shows? I mean, we'll have you back as each show approaches, but let everybody know what's going on with Warrior and where they can find you at, where they can purchase merchandise and all that good stuff. Ooh.
You got it, my friend. Well, the Stadium Series this summer is Saturday, June 5, Saturday, July 17, and Saturday, August 21. It is the best 3 months of your life, the summer of our lives. All the info is at warriorwrestling.net. So tickets, merch, DVDs, streaming, etc. On Twitter, it's at Warrior Wrestling, no vowels in wrestling, WRSTLNG. So a little bit like Wheel of Fortune there. And same on Instagram. The big thing that we're really pushing is we're doing a season pass for the summer. So if you get the season pass, it saves you a bunch of money. It saves you like $150. You get a field ticket, a VIP Fan Fest ticket to all three shows, plus 4 posters, plus the Warrior Wrestling mask, nice. Extra kids, free parking. Like it's the real deal. So if you think you might make your way out there for all the shows, get the season pass. That's the one thing we're really telling everybody. And as you said, all the cool merch, the belts, the pins, the hats, it's on the website, but it's also going to be there in person. So if you are a wrestling fan, maybe the ice cream.
Maybe the ice cream.
Probably by July.
Ice cream, yeah.
Yeah. So we're excited. We're excited to be out there with people and just have fun and go nuts at a wrestling show.
Yeah, and I can't wait. I'm going to be there, dude. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait for the VIP, for the event, for the whole summer. This is the place to be. We're going to kick COVID in the ass, and we're going to get all that bullshit aside, and we're going to go back to what we know best and what you know best, which is professional wrestling.
Pro wrestling.
Steve, thank you so much again, brother, for coming on and kicking it with us, man. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching right now on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to ring that notification bell. Ring, ding, dong. Ring, a ding, 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 dong. Keep the heads ringing.
Keep the head ringing.
You remember that? You guys are so silly. Yeah. Keep hitting those bells, though, so you can see all the latest episodes. So when we have Steve on for the next 2 sessions of Warrior Wrestling, you can check it out because it's going to be awesome and entertaining like it always is.
So epic.
Hit us up on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're everywhere. We do the link tree shit. So just, you find us on one social media, hit that. You can find the other. YouTube, jpdub.com. Check it out. We got t-shirts. We'll have t-shirts. We'll have them at the Warrior VIP. I ain't even released them yet. I record this badass video. I've been waiting. I don't like to sit on shit. I'm like very hyperactive and ADD. I'm like, I got to do it. Got to do it now. I'm like the reincarnation of the Ultimate Warrior. Anyways. Thank you guys. Steve, You're the best. Eric, he's the best. Everybody that works at Warrior is the best. They're the best, as Nacho Libre would say, because you guys put on quality programming and you're very passionate about doing it. And we fucking love you for it.
A1.
Thank you, gentlemen. Great to see you guys. And I will see you, Juice, on June 5th. Bodie, enjoy graduation. We'll see you when we fly back from Florida at some point.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Until next time, wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up. Wow!
Oh my God! I'm so wet for June the 5th of Warrior Wrestling. It's insane! Tune in on Fite. Attend. And if you can't do that, then I don't know what you're doing with your life, but get on the fucking train.
Thank you, guys. Warrior Wrestling.
You gonna do sex to me? Did you like that video? If so, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out more killer content from your boys at Juice Pro Wrestling. Whoa, yeah!